Hey everybody, and welcome to another helmet ballistic test. I am Mike B, and I've got my sexy little Canadian assistant,
Devin K.
behind the camera. He's going to be helping me do this test on an Austro-Hungarian M17 Stahlhelm. I know you're sitting there going, no! And I would be too if I was 12 years old and didn't understand why this was happening. So we're going to go through a couple disclaimers, give you a little bit of background on this particular one, and then we're going to get to the shooting. But what I want to go over first is the whole purpose of these tests is to see what a historical helmet or a historic helmet can hold up against as far as a direct hit. First caveat, I know and Devin knows and most of my viewers understand these were not designed for direct hits to deflect them or stop them. They were designed for fragments, actual shrapnel like the balls that blow up overhead and come down on you.
Dirt.
Yep, dirt, debris and stuff like that. Fragments, not so much, which is what people call shrapnel. Shell fragments move at a really high rate of speed and they're really sharp usually. But for a lot of stuff that's flying around, hitting your head on stuff, whatever, that's what helmets were designed for. So I get that. Now, to the historic part of this, you're destroying a piece of history. Okay, you can look at it like that, and I would agree, as a helmet nerd, and Devin's definitely a helmet nerd, I agree, and it would make me cringe to see somebody taking one that had the Asanzo brown paint on it that hadn't been updated by the fins, had another hole punched in it,
Yep.
and whatever. And I get that it's an original shell, which this is a AW64, if you want to get that really quick. So it's a legitimate one that was sent to the Finns during the Winter War and Continuation Wars, and then used through the 60s, was it?
Well, they actually bought those in the 20s and 30s, and then they would have used them just until 1955.
Yes, you are. So. And then they went to the 40, 55, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, I misspoke then. Yes, they purchased these, because you corrected me on that before.
Yep.
Yep.
As a Finnish guy, I should know.
Right, well... what I always get confused is all the aid that they got, like with the Italian helmets.
They had everything under the sun, so it's very easy to confuse their logistics because they had literally everything used in World War II at some point.
That's where I get confused. These were purchased, however, because they had to get rid of war material. Finland wanted it, so everybody was a winner. Now, I've always wondered, and so has Devin, and so have a lot of you, what a World War I German and or Austro-Hungarian Stahlhelm would hold up against as far as a direct fire. Shooting a reproduction helmet does not cut it in this case because the steel is very different and the quality is very different. Now, some would argue that the Austro-Hungarians were not of the same quality as the Germans, and this is actually an Austro-Hungarian manufactured shell. Unless I could find an actual proper German one in the future that's really trashed and beyond repair, this is what we're going to have to deal with for now, and that's the best we're going to do. Now, all those disclaimers aside, let's get to the shooting. All right, so Felonius Devonius is going to take us off, or start us off with the
71 grain full metal jacket 32 ACP.
That was a fairly decent energy transfer for a 32.
Yeah, that would have really cracked somebody's coconut.
What did you do?
I don't know. Why is 32 such a Magnum round all of a sudden?
Wow.
God, that's pretty rough.
That's
a pretty big deformation pattern for 32, and this was a really common round for World War I.
Yep. A lot of private purchase and some issued pistols were chambered in that. That's not good. All right, I'll take the next one. Okay, we're going to be using the 9x18 Magnum. I forgot what grain, what weight bullet this is. It's a full metal jacket, it's tall ammo, and just the normal stuff. And we're going to be shooting the VZ52 or 82 pistol. Again, we didn't mention this. We're standing at about 5 yards just because it's close so we can hit the target, and it's a pretty close combat scenario, especially for something like this, which would have been used in close quarters.
And we don't got a ton of space to walk with our heavy body armor on.
Well, we don't have plates in, but yes, we're actually wearing armor. It's not just for
it's hot out.
We had an incident last summer and learned our lesson. So
I did fine. Ooh, another big energy transfer.
Through. That went, yep, I saw the styrofoam fly.
Ooh.
That's not good either.
Because this is basically just like 380 Super.
Yeah. Which is, yeah, I mean, 380 was also quite prevalent. Damn.
But I thought Germany was good at making stuff.
Well, they're going to be like, oh, it's Austro-Hungarian. They were screwed at that point in the war. And it'll be all the Germans saying that.
Fair.
Or all the Austrians like, no, it doesn't represent it. All right, well, just probably hit right there then.
All right, so now we're going to shoot at what, 9x19?
124 grain.
124 grain.
Jeez. I mean, obviously 9mm was used quite frequently.
Well, I mean, it's basically this is the first time 9mm cut its teeth.
My God.
That's pretty effed.
I'll just repeat it. That's not good. We're gonna have to go all around on this helmet to get. We gotta. Wow.
To get fresh steel, yeah.
I'll try and hit the front right there.
All right.
Jeez. Speaking of my 2 world wars, got the 230 grain full metal jacket, 45 ACP out of the 1911. Oh, that caved the whole front end.
Yeah, front end right there. Dang. Still a fairly clean hit, but...
And then it grazed off of there.
Ooh.
I mean, that's...
pretty bad.
It seems that German and Swiss steel breaks.
Yeah, it's definitely a harder steel.
Yep. Well, it's hot rolled, hot press steel. So, I guess it makes it...
So now we're gonna shoot it with a 7.62x25, which didn't really do so hot against all the other rounds, so this is probably just overkill at this point. But what's the grain on this? 70?
I think it's a 95. It's Romanian 80s surplus.
Okay. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, when you see the styrofoam flying, you know that's not good. Where did you hit? Oh, right there.
The giant hole. And then there's the exit.
Yeah, that's the exit.
Oof.
Well, I'll do the honors.
Send it off.
With the 357 right there. So now we're going to be doing a 357 Magnum 142 grain semi-wad cutter full metal jacket out of the Ruger GP 100. I don't really have high hopes for this guy. I did the same thing it did on the... It made that pattern.
That little triangle again?
Yeah. And it did... Maybe the angle was down.
Okay, that's the exit.
No, wasn't that your
Oh,
that's your
that's the
entrance
entry,
for your
yeah.
choke rev.
Probably
Anyway,
some bits.
Well, I think it must have exited, or maybe it's still in the head. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much expected.
That's done for. Yeah, I mean, for a Gen 1 helmet that's meant to stop dirt mostly, this isn't bad for its time, but it's not by any means ready for today.
Nope, not even close. And the type of steel that was used, the design, it's, again, we understand that they're not, even modern helmets are not necessarily designed to stop a direct hit, even though nowadays they can. And they weren't back then. They were designed for, like we said, not even fragments, but like actual shrapnel, dirt clods, debris, wood chunks, big dirt clods that come up and hit you. They get raised up from artillery and they come down in your head. That's what it's designed for. All the helmets in World War I were designed for that, not for a direct hit. Now, this was also very interesting because it didn't just punch clean holes through like I expected it to. It broke, which is really common on German steel that I've seen and Swiss steel. So I don't know exactly what kind of steel it is. I'm not a metallurgist, but it's very consistent in its performance. At least it stopped one. Well, it wasn't a total failure. So if you get hit in the, you're going through a trench and somebody's got a 32 and they pop you in the head, you get knocked down.
You're probably okay, but that's probably the #1 pistol cartridge you're going up against anyways, is going to be a 32. Your best chances of getting shot by a pistol round were by 32, so.
Yep. All right, well, let's wrap the video up. So that's what we've got. We already kind of wrapped up the actual performance of the helmet. I just wanted to let you know that because of Patreon supporters and channel members for both of our channels, this was made possible. This was a very expensive target to make a short video on. I think it went pretty well, and now we can all see what in World War I or Austro-Hungarian Stahlhelm would have done against direct hits in the warfare that was going on at that time. We didn't do rifle rounds because it's not going to stop a rifle round if it doesn't stop a 9mm. That's usually what we've gathered. But yeah, so that's why we didn't do rifles. I know you guys would like to see that. It's just going to punch clean holes through it. It's not going to be anything special, almost guaranteed. So anyway, Patreon supporters are great and channel members are great because I was able to get this, which was a lot of, I think this was $250, right? And if I would just be funding this out of pocket, that would not have happened this year. Like that's just not a reality. So if you want to support the channel, you want to see more cool stuff like this, like I've been promising all winter, you can support my channel and Devin K's channel by subscribing to his channel. He's also got a Patreon. He talks about it there. You can go to the link to the description that's going to be right below Devin's channel and hit up my Patreon, become a supporter on there, or become a channel member. $5 a month or more on either platform gets you into my Discord server, which is really a fun time. It's pretty educational. I learn a lot on there. It's fun to hang out with the people that have similar interests and the different specialties and whatever. It's really cool, and people that genuinely like what Devin and I do. It's really great. So if you want to do that, that would be awesome. If you want to support our work, but you can't do it financially, hey, I totally get that. That's fine. You can still support us if you want by liking this video, going and subscribing to both of our channels, and also sharing this video out really does help. It's the best way to get content out there and get more people that may not be aware of our channels to realize, oh, well, there has been a ballistic test done on one of these, and that's very interesting. So that's the kind of thing that you can do if you can't do it financially. Now, if you fall into the third category and you don't want to support either of our work, and you're just like, nah, well, I hate to break it to you, you already have by watching this video. So thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you on the next helmet ballistic test video.